Thank you for joining us today. We're here to celebrate BART's 40th anniversary of train service. Here today we've got our BART Board President John McPartland and Vice President Tom Radulovich, Mary King, Gail Murray, and Robert Rayburn, all BART Board Directors. Also joining us are representatives from our 40th anniversary sponsors whose generous donations have allowed us to give back to the community. Our sponsors are Titan Outdoor, Bombardier Transportation, and Dreyer's Ice Cream. From Titan Outdoor, we have General Manager Terry Powers, Jackie Cayo, and Ryan Welch. From Bombardier Transportation, Patrice Huber, and from Dreyer's Ice Cream, Diane McIntyre. We also are thankful for Dale Liu and Bill Daniels. Where are you? Come on up. There you are. They're second grade teachers at James and Madison School in San Leandro, and they're here to share a few memories and some exciting news. After our news conference, we invite you to have cake, generously donated by Nothing Bundt Cake, and check out our memorabilia table for some really fun and exciting things, some that have been brought in by employees, from board directors, all over the place. So I'm very pleased to introduce BART's General Manager, Grace Kruniken.
Thank you very much. Would the 40-year employees come forward, please? I just want you in the group shot here, maybe not behind one of these signs. One of them's only been here 35 years, but I'm not going to tell you which one. So we've got Angie Bonifacio, Dave McGinnis, Ken Myers, and Charles Alexander. And these are representative of the employees that serve BART and really make BART work. And I know you gave them a round of applause, but on behalf of all of the employees of BART, and there are about 3,000, let's give them another one and thank these 40-year employees. Thank you. Thanks very much. So we chose to kick off our celebration at this Lake Merritt station largely because we used to have our headquarters here for the longest time, and because our operations center is here, and because the train, when it first opened, ran through this station. It's also a very good example of what we're going to be doing at BART in looking not just to the past, but to the future. And we hope to have retail, housing, and other activities around this station as we redevelop it with our partners in Oakland and with Laney College and others, and the Chinatown community, in order to design a new future for this station. And this will be an example of other things we hope to do with our other stations. So we think Lake Merritt is the place to host, and we're happy to have you all here today. Before BART, the only electrified system that the California state citizens had was at Disneyland. And we were the first ones to open. We opened on September 11th, and for obvious reasons, we chose to delay our 40th anniversary celebration. But on September 11th in 1972, we opened our fare gates and unveiled America's first computer-run transportation system. The Bay Area was buzzing with excitement, and BART was an engineering marvel at the time. We were the first transportation system, as I said, to be run by computers, and this was an amazing feat in the industry. I know through the American Public Transit Association that we're a member of that BART's been a buzz all these years merely because we were the first back then, and we're now starting to take our place with other firsts. Our first trains ran from Fremont to MacArthur. We had 28 cars, we had 12 stations, and we had 28 miles of track. We carried 100,000 passengers for that first week, the whole week, and we had 5 million riders that first year. 4 decades later, we've carried more than 2.7 billion riders throughout the entire Bay Area. We'd like to think about how much gas people have saved, how cleaner our air is, and how excited people are for the mobility they have throughout the Bay Area, and what that has meant to a healthier community. We have attracted generations of loyal riders because we are reliable and convenient, and because the Bay Area region has grown, and as it's grown, we've grown with it. Today we run 5 lines. We are 104 miles of track, 44 stations in 4 counties, and by the time we turn 50, if all goes well, we'll be carrying passengers from San Jose, the region we serve now, all the way to Antioch. Yes, we are hitting middle age. Anyone in the audience want to raise their hand and qualify there? By no means, though, are we slowing down. And at 40 years old, we're carrying more people than ever. It's an exciting time for us here at BART. Our ridership has surged not to 100,000 per week, but to 400,000 per day. And those are some of the numbers we've been hitting over the past week. We are flexing every muscle we have to accommodate these passengers and the growth that we are experiencing. We've added service to our Richmond line, and we have 410 new cars on order. Even though there's 410 on order, it's going to take them about 5 years to get here, and nothing is going to be fast enough for us to serve our passengers. Our shops are buzzing just about all hours of the day as we rip out our worn seats and rip out those old floors, and we're replacing them with easy-to-clean features, and the people that love it the most are the customers. I'm out there every week talking to them, and the first thing they say is, "Way to go on the new cars." I haven't told them they're not really new cars. There's still a lot of work that needs to get done, but we have to start replacing the guts of the system. We have to start replacing our train control system, our traction power, and improve our communication systems. These are things that the riders don't see, but we rely on. So it's not just those cars, but it's all the component parts. Also ahead of us are more customer amenities like real-time monitors and better signage for our customers. 40 years is a milestone, and who better to celebrate that milestone with than our passengers and our communities, and that's why we're gathered here today. Please join me in welcoming our board president, President McPartland, to talk about our celebration. President?
Thank you very much, Grace. I was an Oakland firefighter when BART first opened, and I was wondering when the streets are going to end up being back to repaired so that we can end up driving around. What's this thing going to look like? And boy, has it been a long and surprising trip from there to here. 40 years. It's amazing. BART's going to end up celebrating this by giving back to our partners. And we're going to end up doing that by showing them a thank you in several different ways. Let's identify who our partners are. It's going to end up being the Bay Area voters, public transportation supporters, communities we serve, our employees, and 110 million riders every year. That's amazing. So BART's going to celebrate the 40-year service by launching a free BART ride for field trips for kids, 40,000 of them, free rides for student trips. Our children are going to end up being our future customers, and from a marketing standpoint, we want to embrace them to, number one, be public transportation users, but also the custodians of the environment by getting more cars off of the road. Here I'm going to end up going off script for a moment and tell you about a personal story that happened to me about a week ago, where I had an appointment with a physician, and the doctor looked down on the paperwork and said, "Bart, you're from BART. Are you a train operator?" I said, "No, I'm the president of the board of directors." He said, "Oh, darn, I wish that you were a train operator." And I'm going, there's got to be a story here. Could you explain that? He says, "Yeah, my son, who starting at about 2.5, just became enamored with BART, and he likes everything associated with BART. He likes to watch BART trains on TV, on the newsreels, and we found out that it's on YouTube. And in the morning he comes in and he asks if we can end up watching BART, so we end up breaking out the iPod or the iPad, and we end up watching YouTube film of trains coming in and trains leaving. And they do that for quite a while, every day. Now that's what I call the youngest, most fervent BART supporter that I could ever thank for BART and for everybody else. And so for Elliot out there, I want to say, you warm my heart. Thank you so much. The way we're going to end up signing these things up, though, for the field trips for the kids, is that teachers can end up signing up through the BART website, and it's going to end up those free rides or field trips will go on a first come, first serve basis. We're also having a contest with our passengers going on this Friday and Saturday, and patrons or customers can end up coming into any BART station, pick up one of these things right here, put it on your clothes, and go ahead and wear that when you're riding around on Friday and Saturday. we're going to have basically contact teams out there that will basically cherry pick. It's almost like winning the lottery, because we're going to give out $1,040 free BART tickets. So get your sticker and ride proudly. As a matter of fact, get off at every station, walk around, get back on the train, keep going, and give yourself an opportunity to get a free $40 ticket, okay? We're also hosting ice cream socials for passengers at 6 locations. I'm not going to rattle them off. Go ahead and look that up on the BART.gov website. And at those socials, we're going to end up featuring Dreyer's Ice Cream, one of our sponsors here, and also cakes from Nothing Bundt Cakes. And we're distributing our popular, if you haven't seen them, we've got literacy posters that are going to be distributed to libraries. And we're asking the public to send early pictures of BART. We're trying to do a montage that will be available online for memorabilia. As I started taking a look at this and thinking about my memories associated with BART, it dawned on me that we probably have a lot of patrons out there, something like several billion, that have memories and hopefully pictures that they might be able to be willing to go ahead and share with BART, so that we can end up having that on a stream video that would be available for people to see online. So quite frankly, when it comes to the history of BART and memories, the public out there has a better handle on that than we ever will, because we've got marketing stuff and we've got system stuff, and we've got we really need to end up having the personal memories from the people and their experiences. So we not only invite, we want to entice everyone to participate in that. And we'd really appreciate it if you could help us out. You can find details about the celebration on the website at bart.gov/40 years. So we want to thank you for joining us here today and for our 40th anniversary. And we're committed to bring you reliable, safe, convenient, and green public transportation now and in the future. All right? Any of the other BART board members, would you care to come up here? Gail? Gail Murray.
Thank you. Thank you. I got here by BART, and I soon have to leave by BART, but I couldn't pass this day by because I live in Walnut Creek, which is, and my district is Central Contra Costa County. And we bought there because we knew BART was coming. We bought there 40 years ago, and my husband took the Greyhound bus every day into the city, waiting and waiting for BART to come. So we are BART riders from the very beginning. I was in the downtown Berkeley station because I worked in Berkeley for a while, and that's when the earthquake happened. And I was down there, and I didn't even know what was happening. I felt so protected down there until I went up to the chaos upstairs. And we immediately, in just a day or so, were able to get those trains running again. So BART is so integral to the Bay Area's economy, and I'm so pleased to be a part of it. So I just couldn't pass this day by to celebrate and say happy birthday, BART.
Well, I brought my own memorabilia for show and tell today. My bike permit from 1988 that allowed me to bring a bike on board BART. BART didn't always allow such access, and we've made a lot of progress since the 1980s. What a pleasure it is to conclude the first 40 years at BART on such an upbeat note. BART's record ridership reflects public confidence. We have a great system, and we are making it better with your input. I have several examples from just the past year. You said BART's cloth seats are dirty. BART replaced the cloth with vinyl, and we're working as hard as we can to make sure all the cars are retrofitted. You said we want better service. Just last week, BART started a new Trans-Bay extended hour service to Richmond. You said, I can't reach the handholds. BART now has strap hangers. By the way, that's my wife's favorite. She's 5'2". And you said, my bike was stolen. Well, BART's been implementing new lockers, new racks inside the stations, and even testing a pilot program to allow bikes on board. Looking forward to the next 40 years at BART, I envision BART 2.0, a new fleet of train cars, and vibrant new centers of urban activity above each of our stations. Thank you, and happy birthday, BART.
Good afternoon, Tom Radulovich. I don't have a lot more to add. I grew up in a little town down the coast called Los Angeles, and we didn't have BART. I was 5 years old when BART opened. I'm now actually middle-aged. BART is not. We got 5 more years to go. But one thing about BART that's amazing is how it's transformed this region. The other thing is how it's transformed this country. BART was the first rapid transit system built in almost 40 years in the United States. I believe Cleveland built their system in the 20s. There was at the beginning of the century, a whole rash of transit systems built, and then no big city attempted this until the Bay Area did in 1972. So on the heels of BART, we got the systems in our sister systems, we call them, in Washington and Atlanta. But cities like the one I grew up in, Los Angeles, got the idea that, hey, we can have a rail system, even though they let theirs go, because of BART. So we've been an important part of the history of this region, and I've been proud to be here for almost half the time we've been operating, which is a strange thing to think about. But we've also been an important part of the history of this country and of mass transportation. So I just wanted to say hats off to all the people who helped bring us to this point, all the BART folks, all the folks who had the vision in the first place, and all of our workers, all of our predecessors as board members. Also wanted to acknowledge Mike Healy, who's here. Yeah. I didn't grow up in the Bay Area, but everybody who does is like, oh, you're a BART director? Do you know Mike Healy? Because you're just such an icon in the Bay Area, and it's so great that you're still here. You were the voice of BART for so long, and such a great face for the system. So it's great to see you, Mike, and thank you all for coming out today.
Good afternoon. I'm the short timer at BART. I'm the newest board member, Mary King, and I'm only going to be here until December. But I certainly was here when BART was planned and when it was built. And that was an exciting time. Grace, it really was like something that was going to be a Disneyland ride. What's remarkable to me is that I sit here on the BART board, and BART turned 40. How did BART get older than me? Just like my kids did. But there are many, many, many memories, and certainly we remember when ridership grew so large, when we knew that we were totally dependent upon BART to get back and forth across this bay. It was a scary moment for me the first time I rode under that tunnel. I wasn't sure about that. But you know what? I won't take a car to San Francisco now. So thank God for BART, who's been in partnership with this region, who's been providing clean and safe services for 40 years, and let's look forward to 40 more.
And finally, we have from James Madison School in San Leandro, Dale Liu and Bill Daniels. They've utilized some of our previous free field trips in the past.
Hi, thank you. We just are so pleased to have the opportunity to thank BART, because in the past we've taken students on field trips. BART is safe, convenient, efficient, and economical for us to take field trips by BART. We are able to connect students to their community and extend what they learn in the classroom outside of the classroom. By using BART for transportation, we give them more opportunities and can take them further places. So we are just so appreciative that BART has a program starting that we can get free field trip for our students.
I just want to add to that in talking with my students about BART and our upcoming plans for field trips, just 12 of my kids had ridden BART before out of 28. So as BART launches this new program, and I look forward to in creating 16 new BART riders for the future. And the great thing is that we don't just expand it for them, but for their families as well, because we couldn't go on our field trips without the parents. And the parents too say, oh, BART's so great, it's so accessible, it's so usable. And it's always great to hear on a Monday or a Tuesday about a BART, a trip that the family took on BART over the weekend. It really brings it full circle, and BART is a great value to our school field trip system. Now, I'm going to wrap it up because I need to hurry up and get back to go on bart.gov/field trip so that I can get in there for one of those field trips that are available. Thank you so much.
I'd like to point out that when you put the sticker on, make sure it stays on. Mine just flew off. So pin it on or make sure that it stays on when you end up picking it up. At this point, we're just about ready to wrap up. I would like to end up asking, are there any questions from the press or the audience? Wow, we must have done a good job. In that case, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for joining us today and celebrating our 40th anniversary. Thanks.